Hi, this is Mike Moo. Today's video, I'm going to give you a tech tip on how to create filters for your Gmail in case there are messages that you definitely don't want to see, or you want to organize a little bit better, or you want to make sure that you never see or just send straight to the mailbox. So here I am here in Gmail. Okay, after you go ahead and log in, it's actually fairly simple. What you do is start off first with either the message that you want to go ahead and filter or the type of messages that you want to go ahead and filter. Now, in this particular example, I am a cybersecurity consultant, and one of the things that I do is I subscribe to something called NVD, it's just National Vulnerability Database. Now, unfortunately, there's not a whole lot of configuration that I can do when I subscribe to a list like that. So sometimes I'll get messages like this, and as you can see, there'd be hundreds of them that just come in right at the same time. I don't need to see this because these are all rejects, as you can see in this message here. So what I usually do is you look at a couple of variables that you want to be able to search for. Some of them are very easy. For instance, if you got a message from someone that you know, or an organization or a mailing list that you don't know or don't care for, and they don't really obey anything that you request to unsubscribe from, all right? Or if they are just basically doing it for nefarious purposes and you just definitely don't want to click the unsubscribe, because then they know for sure that you read the message. So you look for the from, and as you can see, this one's from myself. And then you can also go ahead and take a look at the subjects, right? The subject is new vulnerability on NVD. And then also look at the message and see what makes sense here. So for me, the keyword here, and I already typed this in earlier, was that I want to look at this, all right? I want to look at the words reject in here for a message that comes with a subject line that includes either NVD : or from myself. So if there's a message that says from myself, then I would do the reject. Quick way to do that is to just type in reject. Okay, see what pops up. Now, as you can see, just doing that, I have a whole list of stuff that comes in from here. All right. Now, you can then go here and you can then, after I do the enter, all right, you'll see, you'll just get a quick note here about some of the rejection notices and whether or not, what shows up from here. Right now, you can then click on show search options here, this angle over here. Okay, so this is the quick way to get into it. You can also get through settings. This is the way I'm going to show from here. So if I get this and it shows with a subject, all right, let's just say NVD : right? And then it doesn't have, well, I don't need to filter stuff like that out, or I can send it, where is it sent to? And I can say, well, it's sent to me, all right? I'll just put in my email address over there. And then I can double check this filter. Okay, this looks like something that will pick up everything that I had want to go ahead and filter out. Right now, I can choose whether or not it has an attachment or not, or whether or not it has any chats, and I just click on search just to verify that this is in fact the case. All right, so it is. Looks like anything that's sent to me with these subject terms, with the subject NVD : and with the message reject with the 2 asterisks, that will show up what's going to happen here. Then I click on if I want to confirm the settings, I click on the little arrow down for more options, and I click on create a filter. Okay, so it says confirm filter searches that contain special characters may have unexpected results and not recommended. All right, in my case, I'm definitely going to do it because this actually works for me. So what I could do is, well, do I still want this? I can click on skip the inbox and have it archived. With Gmail, if you have enough storage, you can feel free to do that. You can mark it as read, you can apply a special label to it, you can forward it to a different address, you can delete it. You can make sure that it gets whitelisted so it never gets sent to spam. You can send it to templates. You can mark it as important, never mark it as important. You can categorize these things, and you can also apply the filter to 18 matching conversations. You can have this already do it to 18 of them that is shown right now that works. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to have it deleted because I really don't need this at all to show up on my inbox. Okay, and I'm going to make it never mark it as urgent. I can further categorize this some more. And I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go ahead and create a filter. I'm going to apply it to the 18 that it already found from today, and I'm just going to create a filter. Okay, so now in the future, when I get these, it's going to manage and it's going to filter all that out. So as you can see, that removed everything from my inbox and it just straight up deleted it, which is exactly what I wanted to do. Now, if you go in there and change your mind, you want to configure something like that a little bit more specifically, what you can do is then click on the settings icon over here in the top right hand side. Okay, now there are some quick settings that you might be comfortable with using it and adjusting just the basic things that most people want to change. But you'll want to click on see all settings to get down to the nitty gritty details here. Then from general, move on over to filters and blocked addresses. And as you can see, I already had some that I had set up here before. Okay, so looks like I had some stuff that was sent from Photalia, which is a stock photography site that I just don't want to show up in my inbox. I don't care. There might be something I want to search back there from the past that I don't care for. So I did that. And if it's a category, so you can see I have some things here. Here's the new one that I did right here. Now, if I need to make some changes to it, obviously you just go over here and delete it. And if you change your mind, you can also choose on delete as well. So that's one simple way that you can go ahead and handle things like that. Now, let's say there's a certain special message I want to make sure that I categorize and I still want to keep. So an example of that is a message from NiceHash about a payment. Okay, so as you can see, this is the subject line here. Now, all I'm going to do is do a search for this with the subject line, and it's coming from NiceHash or platform@nicehash.com. So I'm going to do that search for this new mining payment for personal account. And this is just notices of payments that I've received from using my computers when I'm not using them, powered by solar, to go ahead and mine for Bitcoin. Basically mine Ethereum, get payment in Bitcoin. So while I do want to keep these, I don't think that they're urgent and important. I don't need to see these in my inbox all the time because it's just going to flood my inbox with stuff. Okay, so I just copied the subject. I'm going to start that as a start off point, right? And it's going to be from NiceHash. Okay, and the subject is new mining payment for personal account. Okay, so that's the subject. I'm just going to say new mining payment. All right, let's just make that a little bit simple. All right, now if I want to get a little bit more details in there, I click on searching that, and it looks like, look, okay, so these are all the payments that I've received recently. Looks like that handles just about everything. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and click on down, show more search options, and I think that's going to work out just fine. So I'm going to click on create a filter, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to archive it. I am going to apply a label to it, and I'll create a new label, and I'll just say NiceHash. Okay. There might be some additional things that NiceHash might send over, but I'm going to put it under the label NiceHash, so I can search for it later just using my label NiceHash. All right, and I'm never going to send that to spam. Never mark it as important. That's not super important. And I can categorize it under different categories on how I want this to be categorized within Gmail. So there's multiple different ways you can categorize it. You can categorize it with categories. You can apply different labels to it. And I'm not going to do that. Okay, so I'm going to do all that. And then I'm going to create a filter. And now in the future, when I go into my Gmail inbox, it's not going to show these in my inbox because I don't need to see the payments I receive every few hours, right? So NiceHash pays out every 4 hours, and I don't need to see this in my inbox. So all this is going to go right through there in the future, and also from that search result that I just did. Now, as you notice, I have a bunch of these from many days ago that still show up. That's perfectly okay. I can go ahead and run the filtration thing again if I wanted to, but that's okay. It's just a demonstration. I'm showing you what's going on with that. Now, as you can see, if I search for that still shows up some other things that I didn't mean to go ahead and fit in there. So if I want to further categorize this, I go back in there, okay, and click that any emails that come from platform@nicehash.com is what I want to do. So in this example, I'm going to go back into settings. I'm going to see all the settings. Going to go to filters right here, and I'm going to make this a little bit better and just make sure that if it's from this email address, okay, that it's going to go straight, it's going to go ahead and handle that right away. All right, so do that. Platform NiceHash. Continue. Okay, and then let's update the filter. That's what you got to do to update it and make changes to it. Boom. All right, that's done. So now for sure in the future when I get those, it will not show up. Okay, it may not work with all your other messages in the past because it doesn't necessarily run it right then and there. But the sooner you take care of this, a little bit better. And if you still find out that those search results don't work out well, you just keep doing what I did and keep managing how the Gmail automatically filters this. What's really great about this is that unlike when you do this through Microsoft Outlook or some other web client, this does this directly on Gmail side. So you don't actually have to download these messages to process. It processes out there in the cloud, and by the time you get them in the inbox, you won't get the notices. But at the same time, because I did it that way, and I just made sure that it didn't show up in my main inbox, if later on I want to search for it, confirm that I'm getting these payments, I can. Okay, I could just go in there and look at the different labels. So if I go to labels and I go and I check out NiceHash, let's see, label NiceHash, okay. If I do that, then it'll show all my recent messages, actually from any time that has payments. So you can see I received some payments from Bitcoin using my laptop that's just mining because I'm not using it right now, one of my laptops. If you're interested in mining, by the way, I did another video about that. You could just look for under my channel, look for mining with NiceHash or something like that and how to do that yourself. All right. Long video, gave you a couple of examples. Let me know if you have any questions down below. I'm hoping that this works out well for you. And obviously there are some, you can keep managing this all the way down until you only get the urgent stuff you want. But at the same time, you could use the same filtration to go ahead and make sure that you receive messages specifically from anybody, person, entity, or company that you want. One final example, let's say I'm going to whitelist, all right? So I'm going to whitelist my brother, all right? My brother, that's my brother. That's one of my brothers, okay? So I'm going to do advanced search, and it's from my brother here, and I'm going to do that. Doesn't matter, it's just directly from my brother, okay? And I do a search, you find all the messages from my brother, and I like it, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a filter. And what I'm going to make sure is never send it to spam, okay? And I can always mark it as important if I want to. What he sends is not necessarily always important, but if you mark it off as important, or if you mark it off as urgent, or you can filter it any number of different ways, you can ensure that it always shows up front and center from someone. So I can automatically have it star. You can use stars for any number of things. I can apply a certain label to it, or I can choose a different, particular category that I want. I'm going to apply the label to it, and I'm going to choose a new label, and I'm going to just kind of call it family. Okay, so I'm going to choose family. Never send it to spam. And I can always mark it as important, but sometimes he just wants to share something with me, something interesting, and it's not necessarily important, so I don't need to share it front and center. Okay, and that's it. I'm going to go ahead and create a filter for that. And now anytime that I search for the label family, I can find all of Andy's stuff. And you can say, sure, you can search for it through the email addresses as well. But you see, in this circumstance, I can keep creating additional filters, and I'll mark that all as family as well, so that when I want to go ahead and add other members and put labels on the family, it'll all be under the same label versus having to type in their email address as in a search. All right, that's a long video. Hopefully it covers just about everything you want. So basically I was whitelisting things in a certain special way. I was automatically blacklisting certain parts of a mailing list that I subscribed to if it didn't really matter to me, okay? And if you want to unsubscribe from someone, that's a totally different thing. And there are things that you want to be aware of when you do the unsubscribe. And in this case, in this scenario, since Gmail, I can automatically have that configured so that it just goes to deletion. That means the sender does not have any idea whether or not I'm still getting the messages or not. And in my case, it was because I can't filter from their end that I don't want to receive those particular notices, those reject notices. Definitely don't need to see that. All right. Long video. If you have any questions still, you feel free to comment down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next video.